lovely as well this evening. I had to just check something. Sorry, I should have done this. I think I checked it before the stream. Yeah, I have. Yeah, sorry. I was just making sure I had the box out there from underneath my bed. I didn't know that I put it back in. Files and stuff like that. I did put it back in. I was just making sure because I had it out over there on the floor, and I couldn't remember that I put it back in. But apparently I did. So all's good, because I would have just fell over if I was going over there. But how are we doing now? I have to charge my Xbox controller too. I'm just looking at that. I just turned on my Xbox too. So yeah, I know I said it'd be live at 11. I probably should have put up in the community post, but I did say I probably would be live Saturday anyway. So yeah, I didn't think I don't think it would have been live at 11 now. We're only probably going to go for an hour or so tonight. I think that was a bit optimistic on 11 tonight, but definitely anyway won't be live tomorrow night or Monday night now. Very busy now the next 2 nights. I have to go to bed early now tomorrow night. Long story, I tell you some other day about it. But yeah, we wait and see after Tuesday and we talk then about it. So yeah. Hello Sean, how are you? How is your weekend going so far? Disabling this out. Yeah. A few scares I see. Yeah, well, pretty much. Yeah, but long story. I tell you after Tuesday about why I had a shave and stuff like that. Because there is a reason. But you look at the beards and you're already going back. You can feel it kind of going back already. So by next week it'd be exactly involved. Because I only shaved last night and I can feel that already in my face coming back. So, you know. you know. Anyway, so any fun with anybody, any crack? I probably should put on some relaxing music. Where's my Xbox controller? It's over there. What? For shit, but I don't know. I can't comment on that, unfortunately. What am I doing here? Just give me a second, so. I'm looking for relaxing music, so because let me see. Just give me 2 seconds. I get it. I meant to put it on actually. Where is my playlist? Where is it? Where is John Waters? John Rogers, not John Waters. Who am I saying? Having a fit. I don't know if we ever use this. I don't know if we ever listen to this one. Oh, I wish I just put it on my computer, but anyway, doesn't matter anyway because I didn't have it connected to the chair, the speakers of the chair. Speaker of the house speaking. It should be loud enough, I know. But yeah, it's a long. I will see you after Tuesday, and I tell you all the big secret that's happening at the moment. So I'll tell you the big secret now after Tuesday. Hopefully, all going well. Hello, Maria. How are you? How's business? How's tricks with you? How's your weekend going? Email. What's this? Oh, it's just saying I'm going now at live. Oh, you know, you were here. Wouldn't you hear New Year's night, Maria? When we were live. Oh, so Mikey the Higgins is questioning why we need borders. Okay, fair enough then. He's saying why does the country needs borders and stuff like that. So take that as you will, I suppose. No, I'm not talking about you, Sean. No, I'm talking about Maria. Yeah, I think you were. I think you definitely were. I remember. I think Sean was here too. But yeah, I just seen that then. I didn't read into it, but that's apparently what Michael A. Higgins has said. I know he was talking about banning homework, which I kind of agree with. You know, it's not really necessary for a child to have homework, because they're already at school, and that school have enough to put up with. They're having to go home and have 16 or 17 bits of work, you know. But I speak about that at a different day. I meant to do a video on the homework bit. You get no number, yeah. I think you were. I think you definitely were here on New Year's night. Yeah. I can't really remember myself. So I'm getting old too, so we be both getting the pensions in. Hello, Gary. How are you? It's good while. It's been a good while since you were here too. How are you? Jeez, I'm forgetting when everybody's here last. Any stolen? What's stolen? Oh, anything going on? I mean, no, not much. No. Oh, I'm fine, 100%. Thank you. How is your weekend going so far? Tell to believe it's Saturday. Next week is the beginning of February. Would you believe? And February's a short month, obviously. It's only the 28th, and then there's no. It's basically a bit shorter of a month. So you won't find it now until March. St. Patrick's Day. We just let you around the corner. To be totally honest, St. Patrick's Day is going to be around the corner. So think about that for a second. Think about that 1 month in 2023 is going to be gone soon. Think about that. Think about that for 2 seconds. Because it's crazy to think we're already a month down. Like, you won't find it to Christmas next year. Like this year coming, sorry, next year. This year, whatever, same thing. Different day, same thing, right? Oh, Valentine's Day. What day is that on? That's in February at some point. The only how I know that. Oh, you won't find next year, yeah? God knows you won't find it. When we get, like, when you hold something new, like, I'm gonna get, like, Joe Biden. The 14th of February, yes, okay. Yeah, it's in the middle of February, yeah, around that time. The only way I knew Valentine's Day was coming up at some point. Because I was in one of the shops there and they had all the Valentine's sweets and stuff like that. And I was like, you know, yeah, definitely Valentine's is coming up at some point. And I bet you any money Sean's going to say something now. I can feel it. I can feel it in my bones. I'm telepathic, don't you know? I'm psychic, not telepathic. What the fuck is telepathic? It's a new word. Put in the dictionary. What would I buy? What? Will you buy robes for what? Which? Oh, for Valentine? No, I won't buy anybody anything. I'm too mean. Too mean. The feeling no one's in the pocket. I actually, I knew you were going to say that. That's what I said there. That's exactly what I was thinking you were going to say, Sean. I can see you saying that now. That's what I said before. Any tea tonight? Oh, the tea machine. Where was the tea machine? It's not here. This is upstairs. I'm just trying to think. This is the wisest I used. I think it was New Year's night. We actually was the last. I do have it with me now tonight. It's downstairs. And it's in the press. And to be totally honest, it's a lot of stuff in the way of it. But we definitely get it some other night when I get it upstairs because I meant to keep bringing it upstairs. Like they have it in the spare room there. But sure, look, I always keep putting it back into the press. Because see, after I usually clean it out. And I bring it downstairs to clean it, like to give it a clean inside. So that's what happens. So I have to. I get it tomorrow night now. I knew it. I knew you say. I knew that. I actually knew. That's what I said. Sean's about to say something, and I knew you were about to say it. I'm psychic. Now that'll be 59 cents. Thank you. You know the way. What they call you? Go to Bundone or something like that. You have fortune tellers. You know you have fortune tellers. You have to charge. They charge you. They say I can tell you your future and all that, and they charge you. So Sean, you have to pay up. Unfortunately, pay up now. That'll be. I don't know. That'll be 150,000 euro. Thank you for my prediction. I'm only joking. Sean WC, you have to text them on which? You text them on YouTube, you mean? Well, Sean will be busy. Sean will be busy now. Tell me my fortune. You're going to wait. Where's me? I need a blue ball. Where's not that kid? Where's I need a ball. Not where's the okay the glove with it. Right. He's in my school. Oh yes, well, I'm not gonna say anything about that. Yeah, but Sean's probably busy. Everything's happening at once. Give me a second. I tell you a fortune now in a second. That'll be 2.7 million euro for your fortune. I'm looking over the world. I'm gonna leave a dictator. I'm gonna take over the world. I can see a hot country that you're moving to. I can see a man. I don't know where I'm going. I say he'd be studying. That's what I'm saying. I wouldn't annoy him. And even though Sean's a great fellow. He's probably busy, especially this time now. Or maybe he's gone to bed. I don't know. I actually don't know what to say. I can see some hot country, Spain, right? I actually don't know. I actually don't know what I'm going to make up now. So I'm not going to make anything up. Let's just say I took over the world and I told everybody their fortune. How about that? I don't actually know what to make up. Because I'd probably say something obscene. So there's no other balls available, unfortunately. That sounds so wrong, but okay. Oh yeah, Leo got crow eaten the other day. Well, yesterday, sorry. Leo got ate out of it yesterday. It was at something in Fingers, I think it was, and some woman absolutely tore him to shreds. Well, not literally, not quite literally, but give him a good telling off, basically. Ding, ding. What the name of the I think the chat might be. No, the chat's working out. Because one time it did freeze and I didn't see the match for a few minutes. So I'm always paranoid of that, and like Joseph Stalin, very paranoid. I'd say some people probably think it was going to go live at 11 because I did say to Tony And it would be 11 because I actually thought it would be live at 11. But I said I'd go live early. So, you can never really predict. I wish I had a better schedule. But you know yourself, you know. Oh yeah, well that happened today at some point because I've seen in videos, like recommended videos pop up on YouTube there from like news outlets and stuff like that. But I don't know what it was about. I know it was bet up or something like that. I don't know. I just seen it like again. It just popped up in my kind of suggestions on YouTube ones today. So I know very little about it at the moment. I know there's cops involved. I don't know what the fellow was doing or what he did or whatever. I don't know much about it yet. But I suppose I hear more about it in a while because I think at that point when that happened, I think it was just after happening. Because I didn't know much about it to be totally honest. It was happening. I might just look now. If I can find it, that would be appreciated. Just give me 2 seconds. I'll just. Yeah, sorry about that. Use the workers drivers. Okay. Oh yeah, well I heard about them kicking him, but is your man that got bed up dead or is he injured? I suppose obviously he's injured first of all, yeah. Just trying to find something about it. He's dead now. Oh, well, they must have bet him quite bad. So he was reckless driving, they say. Let's see. Where is the things when you're looking for something that never turns up? Like I was seeing all the videos earlier on, like they were just breaking. It was just kind of breaking at the time. Where am I? Where did I see it now? I was in. Yes, it was 5 officers involved or something like that. Because I'm just reading in between the lines of what they're saying here. Yeah, it seems to go away the traffic kind of incident. And he's dead. Yeah, he's dead now. So probably half of America probably be born down now, but well, hopefully there'll be no more violence or anything like what happened last time. But obviously it's tragic the way the way it happened. Obviously shouldn't have been bad up. Obviously, it'd be different now if it was resisting arrest or something like that, and it was in self defense. But obviously it doesn't look that. It doesn't look like he was putting. He wasn't struggling basically. For what I just seen there, basically. So obviously it wasn't necessary for what they did. If I'm making any sense. But again, I don't know all the full details, I just seen briefly there. So, but that's just my initial impression of it. When I hear more about it, I'll say more. So any other fun happening around me? Oh, I keep hitting the wrong buttons. So how, I don't know. Do you know, Gary, about uh, the CD, the St. Pat's Christmas CD? You know how well did they do this year with it? Yeah, I don't know. Do you know? Any refugees in Cavan hotels? There is one at the other side of Cavan, way beside Ballygym, stuff down that way. Um, there's we wouldn't call it, yeah, we would call it a hotel, but yeah, so down there. Yeah, none around Cavan town as far as I know. They're going to build them modular homes for 200 of them out beside Cavan General. There's a few, there's a good few B&Bs around the county. There's talking a few. But generally nothing really else. Because they were going to take some of the hotels in Cavan, some of the bigger hotels, but I think they refused because they wanted tourists to use them. So, it had basically nowhere else to put them. Because again, County Cavan hasn't got a lot of hotels. And the ones that they do, oh yeah, how did they do well with it? That's I don't know. Do you know much about it? Again, you might not know anything about it, but I'm assuming you know what I'm talking about. Um, but yeah, apart from that, because again, County Cavan wouldn't have many hotels. Uh, the big hotels would be more fancier and stuff like that. And they would generally be for tourists and stuff, and they would be probably very declined to give it up to the government, basically. But it's hard to know yet what will happen. But I don't think they will, because a lot of them were offered to take them in, and they didn't. I think they refused. So and there was millions in it for the hotels, but I suppose they seen the census. But that's it to my knowledge. But there's none around Cavan Town in there. Well, this kind of general area. As far as I know, they're in B&Bs obviously, but there's nothing really anywhere else. Aye, pretty much so. That's good, yeah. That's good. I know. I heard last year they done extremely well with it. I don't know about this year, no. But I heard last year they did very well. Oh yeah, I know. I just asking. But that's okay. It's just kind of curiosity. Curiosity killed the cat, as they say. What's it? Is that the old saying? Curiosity killed the cat, or something like that. I probably should reply to Tony. Tony would like my comment, I think. I think that was the old saying. Curiosity killed the cat, wasn't it? I'm just trying to think. Am I right in saying that? I think as far as I know, I know. Hello, everyone. I know a good few people just have to turn it on. I shouldn't have said 11. I said originally I was going to go live at 11, but again I changed my mind. You see, it's so hard to keep a consistent live streaming schedule. Because often days, I will be back into late. Has been the case for the last few nights. I haven't been back into very late at night. We're talking about 10 o'clock. I've been coming in the door. And then when you get something to eat, you get your food, you take off, you change into your clothes and all that, change into new clothes and stuff like that. By that time, you're nearly at 11:30, and then it's 12 o'clock, and then it's a weekday, you have work in the morning. You don't find the time, basically, there's not enough time, basically, to do everything, that's what I'm trying to say. So, it's been difficult the last few days, but. But we try and get back to maybe consistent a bit. Consistent a bit. Again, the word is a bit. But coming into the summer now, it's going to be out the window, you know. So yeah, I can't even say that. I don't even know how to pronounce that. Hello, how are you doing? Hope you're doing well. Sorry, I'm absolutely terrible at pronouncing names. So I'm not even going to attempt that name. But I hope you're keeping well. I hope you're having a good weekend. So some time in February you're looking to go. I think it's the boy of Bethany and Pat's are doing which and what and who. There's a musician thing. I haven't heard anything about that now. It's sometime in February, you say. Lowender College is doing uh, kind of like a dress kind of thing, a competition for dress. I don't know what that's about. I just seen it on Twitter there the other day. And it's like, cool, you know, they're making the dress something like that for competition or something like that. It's like, cool, yeah. But I don't know anything about that. I see, if I see something, maybe, if I have time in February, I might tip onto that. I get no promises, but I see. Uh, I'm from, you're from, no, sorry. Again, I'm dyslexic, so my apologies. I didn't want to make a mess of the name, but welcome, welcome. It's good to see you. I hope you're having a good weekend nonetheless. But yeah, no, I haven't seen it. If you hear anything about that now, Gary, give me a shout, and maybe I might be able to go. Might I don't know, but I'd be able to kind of put it up in the community post that people walk to. Like I'm sure only Joes can go to it. Like, only Joes. Uh, I'm sure it's a native for charity or something like that. Is it? Everybody's disappeared again. But let me see, where is the Bethany or Pat's Twitter account there for a second? Because I might have actually seen something about that. But I seen something about Loretta, they were doing something about a dress. Having tea in the go in my own match. Well, for some. Oh, some of the Bethany College CYs are going to skiing somewhere. They do that nearly every year now. Fucking, excuse my language. Why I hate you. I clicked on something in the it exited. I tell you, sometimes it's infuriating. Technology. Gonna sneeze. Excuse me, sorry, apologies. I don't know if Tony see the message I sent him, like, we're going live. He's saying he's going to be here at 11. And I wouldn't mind, but I replied to him twice about it. You know. Don't see anything about it at the moment. They'll probably put it up yet. As you said, it's in February. I'm jumping the gun a bit. Oh, 31 minutes live now still, Jesus. We're not still, but you know, it's already 30 minutes. Doesn't feel like 31 minutes, but sure. Back, sure, lock it. Achoo. Achoo. I just need to go here for a second. Just give me a second. Oh, sorry. I used to be able to catch the pet zone. I used to throw it up in the air. Now I can't. Useless. Useless. But anyway, do you want to know? Sean's still here for a second. Sean Mack. Hello, Bonner. How are you doing? Bon, I keep pronouncing it wrong. But how are you doing? Good to see you. Oh yeah, Sean. So yeah, the good news. You'd be happy to know the picture will be soon here, within the next. Being conservative now, by the end of February possibly, or the middle of February. So we have to wait and see. But excuse me, most likely the middle of February. So no need to get excited. You're getting all excited now. You're hopping off the plate now. The you're going to give me Howard reviews. But yeah, no, what was I going to say? The Navy video, the Irish Navy video, where they're docking up basically more ships, basically, isn't it great? As I said, as I mentioned in it, and you said about I wish I could pronounce stuff. Bonho, I wish, I wish. You said about the Cod Wars, basically, between Iceland and the Royal Navy, basically the British. It was over fishing rights and stuff like that. And basically the only reason why, but the point I suppose you were making is that they kind of took on the Royal Navy. But at the end of the day, what they did, the Icelandic people and the government at the time, because they were in NATO, and obviously it's very important for Iceland to be in NATO, because obviously where it's located is in the top of the Arctic, especially during the Cold War and the Soviet Union and all that. So, Uh, so they went to NATO and they were like, we're going to withdraw from NATO, and the United States were like, no, no. So, but then the Icelandic Navy hold the ground. Like if the Royal Navy came over here now and banged into our ships, like hit their ships and fired over bows and stuff like that, I think the Irish Navy won away. Like because they were ramming the Royal Navy ships and stuff like that. The Icelandic Coast Guard, not even a navy, it's a Coast Guard, and they have more ships than the Irish Navy. Oh yeah, but they're supposed to be in NATO too, and obviously during the Second War, the British occupied Iceland because Iceland declared its independence from Denmark after Denmark capitulated. So, Iceland was occupied basically, even though it was a neutral country, even though the British occupied it. But I suppose if you asked any Icelandic person, they would say it was a great time because they built the British and the Americans. Then it was the British force that took over it in 1941, wasn't it? And then the Americans in 1943 and 1942 took over to build airports and railways and roads. So basically, the United States kind of built up a lot of infrastructure that's there in Iceland at the moment. When they took over the occupation basically, and then during the same, it's a long story, but you know, but the rejecting the girls too have an age limit of 35. Yeah, but the thing about they have lowered the standards, particularly they want to lower the standards on Garda Síochána too. And the army's already lowered, the standards on the army already lowered. Like, I know Granny could nearly get in at this stage because the standards are that low now that anybody could go in. But it's you could lower the standards and you can lower the age and all that for people to join and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it doesn't solve the problem of who's going to pay the wage, who's going to pay the bills at the end of the week. Particularly when you have people who were in the army. I've heard of people who were in the army who paid out the leave, because when you leave the army, they pay you basically, how you put it, they pay for your discharge is the word, out of the army. And people did that and they went and worked in Tesco and done stores and Superfire. So people left the defence forces to go and work and done stores and Tesco because they were better jobs than the army. So that basically tells you all you need to know. Because, again, you just don't get up in the morning and be like, I want to become a soldier. It takes a lot of effort. It's not like we took job is hard, obviously. But obviously not getting up at 5:30 every morning and going, getting your uniform spotless and stuff like that. It's not as difficult, and obviously training and exercise and stuff like that is a lot of stuff. Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. But the fitness level, the reason why, and even on Garda Síochána, they want to reduce it because obviously people who are unfit, again, there's the word, you can't have unfit girls. Like there's girls who run on Garda Síochána at the moment, and I do see them have big bellies on them. They couldn't run after anybody. They couldn't do anything basically. They can't go from here to there without getting into the squad cap. Like they're the laziest people you could see. I know 2 or 3 girls in the town there. They wouldn't go, like there's the guards, if you know where the guards bogs is across the courthouse there in the town. They used to go down to what they called beside the bus hours there in Cavan. There's a place over the other side of the road. It's a west. They used to do in the mornings and stuff like that. They do rollers and stuff like that for people, and they wouldn't walk down there. They basically take the squad car down. They wouldn't walk down. Even though if that was me, I would walk down for the exercise. They wouldn't walk down there. I've seen them many times take the squad car down, even though it's about 3 minutes of a walk. But they're that lazy. And these gals have big fat bellies. They wouldn't. I'm surprised they can even drive with how big some of these are. The physical element, yeah, because obviously you need to be fit. It doesn't really, for a garrison country, obviously you need to have all of the law and stuff like that. But for the defence forces too, you obviously can't be a big, huge person in the defence forces in terms of weight. And you're in Lebanon, and you're getting shot at, and you can't run, you can't get to cover. And obviously you're a bigger target for bullets and stuff like that. Or God forbid an explosion or whatever. Uh, that's why in the defence forces they exercise you, because you need to be fit. Again, you don't know what you could put yourself in. And the same in the Gaelish and Common too. You don't know what can, like that night, you remember this week, Sean. So the guards who was the armed support unit and stuff, we remember called the Screeching Tire. They caught, there was people coming across the border, they were coming across the border with, what they call it, they were diesel laundering, they were laundering diesel. So the guards ambushed them, the special detective unit, the armed support unit, and they kind of went off. So there was a bit of a chase, basically. But they got them in the end. But yeah. So that's what happened the other night, just to let you know, too. They went towards Ballyconnor. So basically, they were going to ambush them here, but they knew the guards were coming and went the other way. Very interesting, but they had a radio to hear what the guards were saying on the Garda radio. They had that too, so they knew what the guards were thinking, which is the funniest part of it. So they have them, so basically they know what the guards are doing. Some country we got so I've been told, I know. Oh yeah, well I understand. It's a difficult enough. I've seen the Garda one too, and the army one's lowered obviously, but the Garda one seems to be difficult enough. But at the same time, you probably would get used to it after you there a month or two. You get used to the physical fitness, But to an only Joe looking in, I suppose too, it looks difficult. But obviously, it's not as difficult as the military, which should be the way in our Guards. Obviously, you should be fit first of all in the Guards, but in the military, you need to be extremely fit, because again, you're going out to countries that are war torn, and you need to be fit to move basically. But yeah, Council Man said about fit to move. I never seen the day. But obviously, as I was going to say, I don't know to mention it, but a lot of what's it called? A lot of Guards have left the Guard of Sheena Collar there in the last few months in the last year. So, they need to keep the numbers sustainable a bit, because obviously the army at the moment, it's not looking too hot, basically. In other words. Because we're down to 8,000, nearly going down to 7,000 troops. Well, Iceland has a bigger navy than Ireland. Well, Coast Guard technically navy, but has more people in that than there's the Irish navy. And then obviously Luxembourg, we soon be down to the numbers of Luxembourg. Luxembourg only is a tiny little state, has 1,000 active members of the defence forces over there. And we're soon going to go to that level, where Luxembourg actually has more people in the army than the Irish army. No, I don't know about the detectives. They don't do too much now, the detectives. They're sitting behind the desk, that's about it. So good, they don't do too much now. Oh yeah, well obviously the Guards, but I'm sure you know not the Navy. Obviously the Navy's not that difficult compared to the Army, because obviously at sea. But obviously you need to be fit in a way too, in the Navy. Because the main thing about the Navy too is about swimming, and you need to know how to swim. Because you wouldn't be on land basically, you'd be on the sea. So, but you need to know. You need to be fit to do the same now. But obviously, a Guard shouldn't be as hyper trained as a member of the defence force or something like that. Obviously, a member of the armed support unit or something like that should be, because obviously they're dealing with firearms and stuff like that. just security for politicians. Well, at this stage, nearly, yeah. Well. But technically, sooner or later, they probably will have a special unit of the guards protecting them. Like, they probably will create a special unit for the politicians, which I think they probably will eventually. Like, it'd be a special task force basically of Garda Síochána that'll be doing it. So basically, detectives that have guns. Basically, that's what I think that's going to happen sooner or later. Eventually, I'm not speaking about now or tomorrow, but probably in 3 or 4 years, maybe 5 years or 6 years time. There definitely will probably be guards going around with TDs with guns, you know. Oh yeah, the teacher how to swim, yeah. But obviously it's important too in the Navy because obviously, you know, out of sea, you know. But I know with the Army Rangers is obviously, you know, you have to be very fit now. I wouldn't walk into the Army Rangers now. You have to be able to hold your breath on the water and something like that in the Army Rangers. It's very, very difficult now in the Army Rangers. It's a huge requirement now for the Army Rangers. Is there a video here? Where is the thing? Stop the count. I can't find the fucking thing. But basically, yeah, it's a lot of training now for the Army Rangers. If I could find the fucking thing. No, I can't fucking find it all. I'll tell her that now. If I wasn't looking for it now, I'd fucking find it. Anyway, I suppose it doesn't matter, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't mind, but if I wasn't looking for it to be right in front of me, and it'd just be constantly haunting me. I'll get the music back. Where to put it? I said we're going to half 9, it's 10, 9, 10. But what I was going to say to you is, I'm actually going blank. Oh, it's some queer mess now. It's some queer mess now. If I had a brain, I'd actually be dangerous. I actually don't. Anyone noticed that? Yeah, probably just my channel. I don't think they like me. YouTube. Oh yeah, did you see Project Veritas? I can't say too much now on YouTube, but they kind of read in between the lines of it. I didn't let anybody see that. We can't. It can't be spoken about on YouTube, unfortunately. All channels, so it probably is something YouTube has done. I haven't noticed it. Big protest in Fingal, though. Is this fellow actually being serious now, Madrid? But no, I didn't see that now, Sean. Well, I heard about something about that, yeah. Think what was it? Where did I see that? The John O'Dell I hate, he goes. I've briefly seen something like that this morning. Apparently, in the local Gaudo station down there, causing work, because obviously it should be the case. The Gaudo should be out. Whoever done this horrific crime should be arrested and should be prosecuted. But again, it's very hard. It's very hard to keep track of everything. Know what's happening in the country. What's this? Shit, I got a babysitter from 11 to 3 a.m. Tony apparently has a babysitter. Well, he's got a babysitter from 11 p.m. to 3 p.m. 3 a.m. What kind of babysitter would walk into 3 a.m.? This babysitter's actually walked to that time. Like, I'm sure it'll cost a bomb now. Like, I'm sure they'll be charging about 600 or 700 euro. That. Like, I used to have a childminder there when I was younger. And she would, for a week, basically. My parents would work when I was younger after school and stuff like that. And this would be only for 3 hours in the evening. Also, would pick me up from school, it'd be 3 hours. They had to pay about nearly 300 and something a week for the childminder. And she only had me about 3 hours each day, probably. Maybe, being conservative, maybe 4 hours. Being conservative and picking me up from school. And then my parents would pick me up from home. You know, so, you know. And that was only for 5 days. That was only for 5 days. I hate to take what they charge you for over hours and stuff like that. Anyway, I'd say we'll be going an hour and a half, and that would be, I don't think I'm going to go on longer than I know. Very little else. If I had something to do now, I would. When we get this picture now, it'd be some crack. I'd stay for an extra hour or two whenever we get this. Just so people can fucking annoy me. Like, who's that on the wall? Like, I bet you I'm going to get dog's abuse now. At least when I'm sitting on the chair, you just can't see the cushion. Oh yeah, what was I going to say? I was going to make a video on that actually. So a good few people from my class, who were in my class 2 years ago, right, when I left school, secondary school, a lot of them have went off to Australia, New Zealand, and a few of them to Canada and some to England. Uh, but a lot of them have basically have said, fuck this country. Which, to be totally honest, I wouldn't really blame them. Because they're getting, one of them had a car. Uh, I doubt you. One of them had a car and they were paying fucking. They took out a loan for it, basically. And they paid off the loan before they left, obviously, too. But it's not the point. They took out a loan and the bank's basically the biggest fucking crooks you could come across. Then obviously the insurance companies robbed them blind, and then obviously they want to try and get a house, which is out of the question. Let's put it that way in this country. You know. So they're like, fuck this, I'm off to New Zealand. Australia's become most popular. Yeah, in Australia, Canada, and New Zealand, all them are very popular. And obviously the sun and all that, it's good. And did you hear about this Canadian? There was a Canadian minister. How I know about this? There was some person from the Canadian government. He was around Darwin last week and he was in Cavan. The only reason how I know this is because I was talking to somebody. And he was like, do you know there's somebody from the Canadian government in County Cavan at the moment? And he's gone out to talk to nurses. So basically they're trying to encourage Irish nurses to go to Canada. And they're offering them better pay and conditions to go to Canada. So, and I think a lot of them did take it in Cavan. It was like, fuck this country. Because that's what I was told. And I did hear something about a Canadian minister come back. Oh, I know we need them back. We definitely do. But, to be totally honest, I think that's beyond impossible. Like, a lot of them have made their fortunes over there. And are quite satisfied, and they never probably will ever return, unfortunately. I wish they could, but, it never looks likely in our lifetime. Unless the government does a 365 U-turn, which is not likely. Like, even with this Cavan Colin, this year I'm not a part of it. But a lot of people from there's one person I think that has gone 60 years. There's something like 70, nearly in their 80s, and they're coming back for the first time since they left when they were young. They were only a baby when they left in their mother's arm off to Australia. So he's coming back as a 70-something-year-old man to County Cavan. So we see how that goes, because obviously Cavan Colin is trying to bring back the diaspora to come back to Cavan for a week. So if we had a bit more projects like that, then we'd be flying, but it never likely. Because there's many people from Cavan who made their fortunes over abroad, and they made as more money than they ever did in this country, and they have the better life and everything. So, it's not likely they're ever going to return. It's unfortunate, but it's never likely to win. There's more people leaving than there's coming back. Treating and I'm gonna try it here now. I can't ever good. I would literally. Oh yeah. You couldn't do that. Yeah, you couldn't do that to your mother. But a lot of, like, I'm not talking about you. I'm not saying you're old, Sean. But a lot of young people coming out of college and coming out of school. I'm sure you agree. There's literally nothing for them in this country. Like, they come out of college and school and have literally nothing here for them. Obviously, you're a bit older. I'm not trying to say you're an old pensioner and that. But a lot of younger people now, there's nothing for them. There's literally nothing for them. As I said about that case, she got the loan out of the bank to get a car, even though she had a good enough job and she was getting paid good enough, and that's what the bank gives her the loan. But they kind of robbed her because they kind of took a lot more interest than they probably should have. And then the insurance company robbed her blind, and and she was like, fuck this. And then she wanted to buy a house and stuff like that. And that's, as she said, it's impossible. I'd be 50 by the time I'd be able to buy a house in this country. And she's like, I'll go to Australia. Because she was like, straight away, if I get a good job over there, I can get a house for 50,000. 50,000 over here would be something like nearly €500,000 or something like that. Which is more feasible over there. Because you can actually buy a property in some parts of Australia for 3 or 4,000. No, not 3 or 4,000. 30,000 or 40,000, which is not bad compared to Irish prices here. You know. So basically, you can own your home over there in some parts of Australia for unbelievable prices, basically compared to here. So she's said goodbye to Ireland and said good luck. And a lot more have went. Somebody even went to England because as they said, England's a bit better than this, as they would say, hellhole. But I know like this. It happens all the time. A lot of young people coming out of school and things. There's just nothing. There's literally nothing. There's no reason to stay in this country because the government literally hates you. The government hates you in this country. Like Leo and all them, they absolutely hate you. They despise you as an Irish person. They hate you. So why would you stay in the country the government hates you? And you can't even make a life for yourself. You can't pay the bills, basically. And you can't you can't have your own property. You can't own your own house. You're paying back years and years and years for the banks to the IB and things like that. You wouldn't blame them for young people to leave the country, because again, it's a far better life in other countries. It's pretty much if they wanted to, I'm sure they can see it themselves. I'm sure they're not that blind, the TDs and stuff like that. If they really wanted, they could try and help out a bit, try and help young people out. But no, they're just kind of throwing them onto the boats. They're just saying, they kind of just they're not having done anything to stop it. But yeah, it's happening more than it did before. Because there's nothing for people coming out of college, unfortunately. But hello, Gary, again. Sorry, it was mid-set. Sorry. But yeah. Especially when you're in rural Ireland and stuff like that. It's less than in Dublin. Because the majority of the work in the country is in Dublin, let's be fair. Or in the cities in Cork and Galway. In the countryside, basically, it's fucking few and far between work, basically. Good, honest jobs, work, good paid jobs and stuff like that. As some of the teachers said to us in school too, if they were young again, they would emigrate, for a better life and stuff like that. As one teacher said, it's like a prison, this country. And as I would say, the lunatics won the asylum here. And the other TDs and stuff like that. And that actually would be my advice to a few young people if you come out of college or whatever, is to get on the plane and say good adios to the answer to this country. I hate to say it, but there's basically nothing for young people here, unfortunately. Dublin focus, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, unless in rural Ireland there's few and far between jobs, it's all the works in Dublin, and again, if you're coming up from Westmeath or something like that, it's hours and hours drive in the morning and back home. You'll be all the time on the roads, basically, and especially the price of diesel and stuff like that. Yeah, like the prices across all the counties have gone up a good bit. But yeah, but the government are planning, which is a good thing. They are planning this. They talk about the railway line from Dublin to Navan, and hopefully maybe it might connect into Cavan eventually. Might help a bit more, but I don't think it will. But it'll be a long time now before that started. So I give them credit for something. But they shouldn't have got rid of the trains in the first place, especially they shouldn't have got rid of them in the first place. Because they're in Virginia too, like they have to do something. Like we were told, it was said in the monthly meeting at Cavan County Council. It's nearly mentioned all the time in the monthly meetings that there has to be something done eventually by Virginia, around Virginia, because it's just chock-a-blocked all the time. Yeah, there's a lot of people going from Cavan. There's a lot of people living in Cavan going up to Dublin every day. Works in the hospitals. People work in the hospitals and stuff like that. But generally speaking, there's not too many jobs in County Cavan as there used to be. If Sean Quinn was probably still going, there would have been a lot more jobs. But obviously, Quinn Industrial Holdings is still going. They still employ a lot of people. Employ about 1,000 people or so. on this side of the county. Um, but not generally that much. There's a lot of retail jobs and stuff like that, but there's not really good paid honest work jobs, you know. There's shitty jobs and stuff like that, but there's not good decent pay. You know. Yeah, well, Greystone, yeah, Greystone. I don't want that. But yeah, as I said, I wouldn't blame young people for getting on a boat and just saying adios, good luck. Because they have far better lives over there in other countries, in Australia, New Zealand, and stuff like that. But the point is too, they wouldn't be going looking over for handouts. You know, they work themselves up. You know, they wouldn't be going to the Australian government and be like, "Oh, can you pay for my house?" and stuff like that. They'd be working themselves up. You know, like they have every intention to go for work for the money and stuff like that. I remember people from Buttersbridge who left to go to Australia and to New Zealand back in the 70s and 80s. I know their family and stuff like that. You know, they have a house now, they have a car, they have a good life, you know. Uh, and they wouldn't give that up, and it's, you know, they never would, they'd be still paying for the house now. If they, like, I've known people families from Buttersbridge and stuff who emigrated and stuff, and they still keep in contact with Buttersbridge, obviously, their friends and stuff like that. And you know, they never would have been able to afford a house around here. Even the Buttersbridge too, it's pretty hefty, you know. If you're paying for a house, like if you're buying a house straight up. Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. So you know, you'd be walking yourself up. Like them people who left from Buttersbridge, they walk jobs and jobs and jobs, and they paid their way basically. They got nothing for free basically. Like everybody who goes abroad from here basically walk the way up. They don't look for handouts, you know. Like as I said about the Canadian minister here, that's why he's came to Ireland, because he knows Irish nurses are going to work, you know, going to work in the Canadian hospitals and going to work, you know, they're going to do a good job basically. They're going to work their asses off over there. Um, so that's basically why he came over here. Like he could have went to any other country in the world, but he decided to go to the Embolaya to get nurses and stuff like that. So you know, yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. That's why he came here. Because you know yourself at the moment, the hospitals, you know, there's too many people sitting in fucking offices. It's the same with the civil authority too, and local authority and stuff like that. Too many people standing around, asking around, in offices and in the hospitals and stuff like that, higher ups, you know. And there's not enough people on the ground, nurses on the ground dealing with patients and stuff like that. And it's only for them, you know. That's what's keeping the hospital going. It's not the people standing scratching themselves, pushing a pen, you know. It's the people on the ground that's keeping the hospital going. Just barely, but they're keeping it going. And you know, and if that was in many other countries, though, many nurses would be like, "Fuck this crack, I'm not doing this," you know. Oh yeah, well, they wouldn't worry about teachers and stuff like that because they get paid during the summer and stuff like that. Like you know, the secretaries. I think it changed now. But before that, the secretaries, you know, they only got paid for school at times and stuff like that. Like the secretaries for the schools, the people who were basically keeping school one and two. Like there was 3 or 4 secretaries in our school, And they probably changed now. I think it has changed now. But before, during the school year, they got paid, obviously. But when there was the summertime and stuff like that, when it came to the summertime, they waited off until September and stuff like that. When it came to the summertime, they had to sign on to social. When they came to the summertime, they signed on social welfare, and had to stay on social welfare till the schools went back. So they wouldn't pay like the teachers for the school holiday basically for the summertime, which wasn't right. But obviously, I think that's been changed. And the same with the caretakers and stuff. They sign on to social welfare all the time, every time the school holidays come on. But I think that's changed. But it wasn't fair on them. But the teachers are well looked after, aren't they? Oh yeah, well, Hungry's doing all different kind of stuff. Like they kind of have a pro-family kind of initiative going. The Hungarian Prime Minister and the Hungarian President. I've heard about they kind of. I think they're paying actually people for having a family. I can't remember. I heard something about being hungry. I know about the Hungarian Prime Minister is very pro-life, stuff like that. More paid leave and stuff like that. Yeah, because I heard they're doing loads of stuff in Hungary, but they address that. But never likely in this country now to do that. I think the moon and the stars will collide before that happens. Oh yeah, did you hear about all the Fine Gael TDs that are not going to run for the next election too? So Fine Gael looks like the jumping ship, lads. They know the game's up. I think. So a lot of them are not running. Like a lot of them are jump ship and they're like, no, good luck. So there'll be a lot less Fine Gael TDs now on in the next election. No, don't worry now. When the job ship, don't worry. They still get a big pension and they'll be well paid. Don't worry. They're not going to end up in the street. Before anybody gets upset and says, "Oh no, that what will we do without the Fine Gael TDs?" Oh no, God no, please don't. But don't worry. They'll be well looked after. They get a big pension and a free house. No, they'll be life for a while. They live. All expenses too, of course, all covered by the taxpayer. So don't worry about them. Don't sleep. Don't have a sleepless night with worrying about them. They're well looked after. They'll be looked after. Right? It's the top priority of the government to make sure Fine Gael and all them are looked after. Don't you know? And of course, Dennis O'Brien too, giving them a hand. Well, some of them have been there since fucking God was a ghost in the bit of the Like Michael Wing has been there for a long time at Fine Gael. I think he's one of the people that might be going. But he's there since God was a ghost. Again, he's there a long time. And it'll probably be the same with Fianna Fáil. A lot of them will jump ship. Because let's be fair, a lot of them are not going to get in. Let's be fair. A lot of them just barely got in by the skin of their teeth. Like, you even look at the government minister, Stephen Donnelly, the 15th count. 15th count for Stephen Donnelly, Minister for Health. Not likely he's going to get in. It'll take a miracle for him to get back in again. It'll be the 1900 count if he gets in again. But, Oh, well, Leo's in a bit of trouble now. What's he going to do now without a lot of TDs? Because obviously they probably won't get people to refill the seats, basically. But that doesn't mean. Because a lot of people in Fine Gael can see the writing on the wall and be like, oh no, it's not going to happen. Because we all know, even though I don't agree, they should be in government, but we all know, we can all see the writing on the wall that's going to be Sinn Féin in the next government. And it'll probably be Labour Party or probably be People Before Profit or something like that. It'll be a whole left-wing government. And the writing's on the wall, you can kind of see it. Oh, Micheál Martin, yeah, even though he said, he wants to lead Fianna Fáil in the next election, the people of Fianna Fáil have different ideas. That's unfortunate. That's the unfortunate thing. So, and guess what, Sean? It could be Norma Foley. If Norma Foley actually gets in, like in Kerry, then I think the country's lost. Because let's be fair, who actually would vote Norma Foley in? But Leo barely got in last time, sure. You know, it was the fifth or sixth cap for Leo at the time Leo got in. You know, so it was quite embarrassing for a sitting Taoiseach. I think it's the first time in years that a sitting Taoiseach at the time, didn't get in. Yeah, but it looks like it will be normal for the leader of Fianna Fáil, because I've been talking to 2 or 3 people in Oakley Fianna Fáil, and they were like, the party wants Norma Foley to be the Taoiseach. And this is actually being serious. They actually want Norma Foley to be the Taoiseach, or the leader of Fianna Fáil when the time comes. Like, I'm not actually joking. This is what they're saying in the grassroots Fianna Fáil. They're like, Norma Foley would be a great Taoiseach. You know, a great leader of Fianna Fáil. And I'm not kidding you, they actually said that to me. And me purely shocked that they even would suggest that, because they're actually trying to destroy themselves. Like, they actually came out and said it to me, but anyway. Hello, Martin, how are you? Matthew, not Martin. How did I say Martin? Sorry, excuse me. Apologies, sorry, Matthew. I hope you're keeping well. Fine Gael. I don't think Fine Gael will be majority coalition. Again, young people are just going to vote Sinn Féin. We all know that. We can see that happening. But I think Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael are going to just be wiped out, you know. I'm not bad, but sorry for calling the wrong name there. Apologies. See, I sometimes I just speak too quickly. I don't read what's on the screen. No, I think it'd be people for profit. I think Sinn Féin will have the whole shebang with the left-wing coalition. It'd be Sinn Féin, it'd be people before profit, probably a few TDs, right, and then the Labour Party and maybe the Social Democrats. You know, like I foresee them going in, like jumping, because let's be fair. Like we all kind of can see the writing. Like Fine Gael can see the writing on the walls at the moment, and they like the jumping ship at the moment because they know what's coming after the next election. Because let's be fair, people are not too happy with Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael at the moment. Fine Gael and Fianna Fáil are the lowest support, I think, nearly in history of their party. In some cases, I think. Like here in Cavan Monaghan now, like Fianna Fáil are just barely holding on. Like I just mean by the skin of their teeth, they're holding on to the TD seats. And Sinn Féin, it's been said to me, I think it's been said to me more or less, don't run in the next election to me. Because Sinn Féin is going to take everything, basically. That's what's been said to me. Like Sinn Féin have a lot of candidates going to put up for the local authority elections. They're going to take probably all the seats in the local authority, and probably going to take all the seats in probably Cavan and Monaghan. Maybe Head of Huffridge will hold on to a seat, but most like Sinn Féin are going to take everything in Cavan and Monaghan. So probably before Sinn Féin TDs for Cavan and Monaghan, and there'll be one Fine Gael possibly, and then the whole county council probably Sinn Féin TDs. Like that's what's probably going to happen. Like it's an unfortunate thing, but no, I think they actually are, Sean. To be totally honest, I think they actually are, because I think people are, a lot of young people particularly, because they kind of only see them as the only option. There's no other option. Well, maybe in Dublin and things like that, but you know, in Cavan they've gone they're very strong now, man. They're very strong. Because the two TF, two Ts, two DDs, two TDs for Cavan and Monaghan. And I didn't think they would get as many votes as they did, but anyway. But but they're all going to vote Sinn Féin in this county, you know. So that's just a little. But no, it seems like it's going to be a huge thing now. Because it definitely will be Sinn Féin. Very certain there will be a whole Sinn Féin government, and probably people before profit and Social Democrats and people, you know, it'd be all left wing. I don't think Fianna Fáil are going to probably exist after the next election, because they're either going to combust. Because going by what I've been told and by the Oak Creek, there's a lot of infighting and stuff like that in Fianna Fáil. Even though we can see it already, but eventually it's just all going to explode. Like Fianna Fáil is very unstable at the moment, and the same with Fine Gael. The two parties are very unstable. Because I guess we know already a lot of Fine Gael TDs are jumping ship. You know. But yeah, by the time they get in, you know, it'd be too late to change that. That's what I'm saying. Because a lot of people haven't seen that side of Sinn Féin, you know. Because I kind of understand what young people are saying. Even when I was young, I kind of had that opinion too. that they were the only hope for the country, basically. Because obviously, when you look, you look at it, when you're young, when you're naive and stuff like that, that's what to be dependent on, I suppose. That you wouldn't be taking, you hear people, it's the same as many occasions. You hear somebody saying, I can fix everything. I can do everything. I can change the world. You know, young people more likely to say, yeah, I agree. And that without question, without even a question about it. They're just like, I'm going to vote for this vote. Because he's like, I can change the world. Because a lot of young people wouldn't ask questions, just listen and they just vote. Excuse me, sorry. But you know what I'm saying. And by the time they get into government and stuff like that, it'd be too late for them to look to look inside and see what's happening. I need a drink. I haven't got a drink. That's useless. Useless. But we have to see it now. But that's what I think. Because again, they're dependent on young voters more than they're dependent on the old voters. But there's always going to be the old Paddies and the old Marys and stuff like that. That's always going to vote for. I vote Fianna Fáil. My father voted for Fianna Fáil, and I shall vote for Fianna Fáil. And my grandfather voted for Fianna Fáil. I vote for Fianna Fáil. That kind of voter. They always vote for Fianna Fáil, a fine girl, and they wouldn't vote for anybody else. Because because that's generally the old people's perspective. They wouldn't vote outside. If they voted all their life for Fianna Fáil Fine Gael, they're not going to change now, basically. A good lot of the older people. The young people now, as soon as you promise them, Sinn Féin is saying, oh, I can get you, you'll be able to afford a house. As soon as you say that, because that's the only party that's basically saying it. Fianna Fáil Fine Gael talking out of their ass and saying, oh, homes for all and all that crack. And nobody trusts them, basically. And Sinn Féin's like, we can change the world. Mary Lou McDonald's like, I can build houses overnight. I can cast a spell. And the houses just appear. As soon as you say that, young people are like, hell yeah. Without even thinking about it, because they're so down in the dirt that they have no hope. There's no hope for them already, young people. They either have an option of leaving the country, or voting Sinn Féin that like in their head, the only party that's saying they can do something is Sinn Féin, and they're like, there's nobody else that can help us. Because again, they're just so hopeless, Because there's nothing. If you're coming out of college and you're a young person and stuff like that, you look around you. There's no hope basically, and they're like, this is the only hope, and that's how they get them basically. Especially if you if you were a young person coming out of college, you kind of could understand what I'm saying. Because I've seen young people, I see what they're kind of doing and stuff like that. Wait, not for the women's party, what? So we're going to go by she/her and all that. It's going to be my pronoun, so I'm going to be cats in the morning for that. But no, we see. My doctor. But yeah, no, I talk about that in the segment. Oh, go again. Excuse me. Sorry, my throat's dry and that's why I'm coughing a good bit. Apologies. No, I'll probably run down now in a second and get myself a glass of water. So I'm just because again, when you're talking for a long time, your throat dries up a good bit. So I just run down now. Just give me 2 seconds. I run down now. It won't be 5 seconds. I bring down 2 cups and I'll be on now. Oh, sorry about that, chat. What? I know this what I denied what? What did I deny? I know nothing. What man well, man not well. I'm from Barcelona. I'm from Barcelona. Me know nothing. Me know nothing. I know nothing. Man not well. But yeah, we're only going to Telegaga. I bet they're only going to 9:30. We have fun. Hello, Alan. How are you? Oh yeah, the Green Party might be in the next government. I completely forgot about the Green Party. That's how relevant the Eamon Ryan is. Oh yeah, did you hear Conor McGregor was knocked down on his bike? I think it was Eamon Ryan that did it. Be totally honest. Because he falls asleep far too often, Eamon Ryan, to be driving like hell. Yeah, but if the Green Party get into, like, if they're in a well, they already are fucking in a coalition, but, you know, they're kind of the main instigator of craziness. And that's why a lot of Fine Gael TDs too, and Fianna Fáil TDs, you know, are not running, because in rural Ireland now, a lot of people are not very pleased about them with the tough. Because again, eventually, Eamon Ryan, if he gets his way, he will send people to prison for burning tough. Like, that's what he's going to do. Like, that's what he wanted to do, you know, at the beginning. But Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael were like, actually, we're not going to get in the next election if we do something like that, because we will lose rural Ireland, even though they're losing it already. But, you know, if they'd done something like that, you know, by God, they wouldn't get another seat in rural Ireland. But, you know. But if they, like, God forbid, if the Green Party actually get in and actually are the main party in government, God forbid, like, God forbid, you know, then we're certainly fucked. And like Eamon Ryan being Taoiseach, think about that for a second. Like, imagine the lunacy come to that. Like, imagine the lunacy. Like, you literally wouldn't have anything at all. Like, we'd be sitting in our houses with no heat or nothing if Eamon Ryan got his way. Hello, Hardack. How you doing? Thank you, Hardack. I think it's only you come for a long. Yeah, it's gonna be like you know, he's up in Dublin now, and you know, he got in the first count. Yeah, obviously they're the higher ups, the higher society in Dublin. You know, they wouldn't understand people in the rural Ireland and stuff like that. You know, and you know, a lot of them up in Dublin be like, oh, we have trains and trams and stuff like that. Like, what the fuck, you know, they expect of rural people? Like, I've heard of somebody down the road there who was looking to get an electric car, and as well, you know, he's paying maybe 60,000 euro for an electric car. You know, even though he said he probably have to take out a loan to get it, a bit of a loan. So, you know, how the fuck did they take like, already in Dublin, you know, they have trains and things there, but how the fuck did they take in rural Ireland, the back end of nowhere? They're going to pay for that. Like, if Eamon Ryan gets his way, there'd be no such thing as a diesel car or a petrol car. You know, it could be different now if we had trains going here and there and everywhere. But again, Eamon Ryan just doesn't, you know, he's just not well, to be totally honest. And I wouldn't mind, but he's always on about the environment. But he went off to Egypt and he spent got 100,000 euros, something like that, for a week. And obviously first class, top of the range, of course. A hotel room and everything. Oh no, you know. But yeah, you know, he doesn't preach his thing. Hello, Daniel. How are you? But no, Eamon Ryan now, if he gets in the next government, we're in serious trouble. Let's be fair. We're in serious trouble. If the Green Party get any more seats, we're in trouble again, basically. Because the Green Party, the only thing that's stopping them at the moment, I think, for the insanity, is the rural TDs of Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael, because they're afraid of losing their seats. You know, even in Cavan here, there was a few people in rural Cavan, you know, who born tough, and who sell stuff and stuff like that. And they're fucking outrageously pissed with Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael. And, they have to try and dampen that anger a bit, because they won't get the votes. So they don't want that, they didn't want the outright ban because there'd be absolute fucking turmoil. Does that make sense then? New battery, batteries can be expensive, I know. Yeah, like batteries are expensive anyway, yeah. I understand that, but I wouldn't buy a Tesla now. Like, I think he's just talking about an only electric car as well. And it's not the point, like, it's different in Dublin. Like, in Eamon Ryan's constituency there, they walk out their door, they have a bus, they have a tram, they have Lewis, they have stuff. They wouldn't understand, they're so up in their head, that, they're too up in their brain in that part of Dublin, that they don't understand that in rural Ireland you don't have to, like, for example, if you live in the back end of County Cavan, there's rural roads, there's no bus there to pick you up at the door, basically, and you depend on your cow, and Eamon Ryan, like, get rid of this. Oh yeah, Greta Thunberg was asked a few questions at the the World Economic Forum, of course, but why would she be there? That's a different subject. But she was asked a few questions at the World Economic Forum. And she seemed to laugh when a weird journalist asked her a question. Are you happy with people struggling to pay for the energy bills, the freezing in their houses? She seemed to laugh. She didn't seem to care. But in the Ukraine, of course, Jesus, no people freezing in the Ukraine. But in Ireland, oh no, fuck Ireland. Who cares about Ireland? That's what she seemed to do. She didn't say all terrible stuff. You think she'd be like, that's terrible. And she thinks she'd be going up into the Davos, all the world leaders, and be like, how dare you? You should be all exiled to fucking Norma Foley's house. Well, Norma Foley and Greta Thunberg could get on very well, I know. So we have to arrange that. But yeah. But how dare you? And obviously she took a private plane too. Because she didn't walk, let's be fair, she didn't walk to Davos. And also, you have to ask yourself this, how does she get around to all these protests in London and Berlin and stuff like that? No, it's never asked. It's never asked. You think somebody would ask, how does she get around halfway around the world here, there and everywhere? I never asked. Mainstream media particularly leave that question out. Oh yeah, well, we'd not talk about the Bond villain. The Bond villain. Even though number 40, we could get number 40 in with him. We should make that happen. You'd be a bit more happy with her. Actually, I'd spare a moment to think of that for a second. But no, he do fucking very well now, Klaus Schwab in Hollywood. If he fucking went, if they're making a new Batman film in the morning, like, think about this. You couldn't think of a better person that would be more scarier than that. Actually, Norma Foley would be, but I don't know what Norma Foley is. I think she's a robot or a Terminator or something like that. She just doesn't give a shit about anything. So at least we know what Norma Foley is. Some kind of I don't know. Supernatural, or what does somebody call she's, I don't know what to call. The words don't even come to you. She's from the planet fucking Timbuktu. But yeah, no, going back to electric cows now, I don't know how they expect by 2030 to have 30% of the cows on the road be electric cows. Now, I don't know where people are going to get the money for these, first of all. I know the government gives a bit of a grant towards it. But it covers fuck all about it. Yes. We'd be going around sooner or later like the Flintstones. We'd be going around in a stone fucking wheel and driving down the road with a stone fucking wheel. A big fucking wheel at the back and a big fucking wheel at the front. And we just fucking like the Flintstones. We had to use our feet to fucking move along the road. That's what's gonna happen fucking soon because they're annoying. I know, but let's be fair, Eamon Ryan seems hellbound You like the Amish, yeah, the Amish are a perfect example. But they can do, it's funny, I always thought of the Amish people and things like that. They actually are their society actually functions very good. For they have lack of technology and stuff like that, they don't use technology and stuff. But the society actually functions very good, It's not breaking down, like our society's falling to fucking bits, Like, they're 100%, they're not worried about it. A horse and cow too. But no, actually, wait a second, Sean. Eamon Ryan to be on about the horses farting. He's on about the cows. So eventually it's going to turn from the cows to every animal. We're not going to allow any animal, you know. But no, it's a credit to the Amish people too, because you think about no technology around to that. It's very limited. Some of them might have very limited. And, in some cases, no electricity and stuff like that. And no cows and stuff like that. They're still able to self-function. They can grow their own food. They're able to do things. They're able to be self-functioning. And our society's fallen to bits, and they seem to be the Amish people. I was in an Amish community in Germany or something like that. They were talking to some news crowd, and they were like, "Oh no, we don't use electricity. We don't have a car. We have horses. We're not bothered. Not bothered the topic. We grow our own food. Our community grows our own food. So not a bother on them. And then you go down the street, there's a few German people who literally can't afford to put on the heating. So they're faring very good. Hello, Myers. How are you? It's good to see you. How are you doing? Actually, Irish politics. That's for nothing. $9:59. You will wait. We're giving it a few minutes. But I definitely have to be gone by 10:30 now. We can't be here all night. But after Tuesday, we see what happens anyway. After Tuesday, because again, I'm not going to say too much, but you kind of can read in between the lines. There is something up. I will say that, but I can't say what it is at the moment. Is that fair enough? But after Tuesday, anyway, if it's good news or bad news. Can't keep Insana waiting. Excuse me. I'm not Matt Hancock now. We couldn't do that. We'll see after. We'll see. Hopefully, it'll be good news after Monday now. We'll see. Hello, Petey. How are you? Happy New Year to you. It's good to see you. Hope you're having a good 2023. Hope you're beginning the 2023. It's going very good. Hope you're having a good weekend too. But anyway, we get a picture behind it. It'd be nice to have something kind of look behind it, because it's kind of just blank wall. When we get that frame to this bloody yoke here that I have. The yoke. I want that thing. I want to go into that thing. Flat out, yes. You're doing 90. Also, thank you everyone for all the likes too. Thank you. I appreciate it. I rarely look up there, so thank you. I just briefly looked up there and thanks. No, well, we see for the Calvin jersey, but I'm going to get this framed after, so I had to buy a frame. Like the man I'm getting to do the other picture, it's going to double frame it for me. Like I'm going to, for now on, if I ever get anything off, I'm going to get him to frame it. He could have framed this, but should look at. I get it framed and that'll be fine. And that'll go there. That'll go probably up. That'll be things like that. We see. I still have this anyway. Yeah, I get the quest frame because it keeps falling off the wall. So at least if I put a nail in the wall, we're obviously frame and hang it from the wall with a frame. We'd be doing like. Because that was my idea eventually, originally, but I don't know why I didn't do it at the time. Especially because he can do it for me, even though it would have cost a bit more. But sure, look it. But I do that for that on, and I paid the extra few bob for it. And it's worth an extra few old bob. So anything else apart from giving out a blame and wine and the Green Party and the Who and bastards in Sinn Féin? Excuse my French. Then we have into that what I was talking about earlier on, with electric cars and stuff. I know I kind of went on the tangent for a few minutes. How's the cat? Yeah, she was here earlier on. I don't know where she is now. She was here earlier on when I back. At 6 or so, she was here. I don't know where she is now. I haven't seen her. She wasn't there when I went out a few minutes ago. So she's probably maybe outside in the shed, maybe. She could be outside. I don't know where it is. I look when later on. I know. But apart from that, I think she's fine because she was here this morning. She was here this morning. I vote for Paddy Martin. Jesus, what would Eamon Ryan say, Myers? You're saying that. Jesus, Eamon Ryan have a fit. He'll have a fit. It doesn't feel like a Saturday night for some reason. I don't know. It doesn't have that feeling. Saturday night when I was young. Saturday night was the best night of all. I can't remember what song. Jump or whatever. Which you can't song. Staying up all night. You really think I'd be staying up all night? Why would I be staying up all night? What gives you that impression? I just need to check something when I'm there. Let me see. I think there's a bit of fog here. I don't know about freezing them, but it's a bit of fog around. There's a bit of fog around there. Oh, well, give me a second. Have that. Sorry, just give me 2 seconds. Read your messages 2 seconds. It's just a pop up there. So I think we might actually go in a second or two, yeah. They have not claimed their expenses. Also, yeah, we're not even getting to the Pascal done of it now, because it's claimed to be seen that he actually, he's not saying, oh, it was a mistake. Oh, it's a mistake. I didn't mean to do it. I'm very sorry. Oh, poo. And obviously, his friend, of course, he just happened to get on a state body. He just happened to. He just happened to. These things just happen. The mainstream media are like, oh, these things just happen. He just randomly turned up and he got the job in a state body on a big salary. It happens all the time. It's such a coincidence, And no questions were ever asked about it. We're all supposed to forget. Like, OT wants you to forget about it. They want you to make it out like it's an honest mistake. And if that was you or me that done that, he'd be in prison at the moment. The life of Wiley is right. I was in vain. The cat preach from the hilltop. There it was. But yeah, I think I tip on for tonight now. Is there anything else to say before we go? The last few words of the night. I don't know what kind of voice that was. I just kind of was like, back in my day, we used to go to the shop. But the shop wasn't open. We didn't go anywhere. That made no sense. But, I don't know what kind of fight that was. But anything else before we go? Is the world going to end? Today or tomorrow? Not the world. The world is going to end today or tomorrow. No, we're not going to say that now. Don't panic. Nothing yet. Don't worry. Eamon Ryan and Greta Thunberg will protect us. They have unlimited power. I don't know. I can't. Anyway, sometimes I'm just stupid bollocks. Anyway. Excuse my French. Sorry. My German and French and Scottish. Oh yeah, and Fingal. Yeah, I've seen some footage of that. Cavan for Sam, of course. Cavan wins all the time. The only reason why we don't win because it's a win. Then people in Dublin are out for these people in Dublin are out to get these Cavan people. The no Cavan people will take over the world and will conquer all that stands in the way of Cavan. I don't know. I think God's watching this. In the game. I don't know where I got that. But yeah, these Dublin people always try to kick the Cavan people down. I have my bowl of cornflakes. That's the stuff. And a bit of polish too wouldn't hurt too. A bit of the polish wouldn't do harm either. Anyway, anything else before I start giving out? What Tidy Towns what? Tidy Towns what, Miles? What about Tidy Towns? I keep breaking my leg. My leg. Tidy Towns Monday. No, but Tidy Towns every day. I was out today, so. I was out today. I was out there on the road. I don't know. I think that's all I'm going to say tonight now, because I'll be here all night now. But your show. But take your attack. But anyway, here I'm going to tip on now. We're nearly 2 hours. I didn't plan to be 2 hours live, but anyway. I'll hopefully be back. Maybe I'll be back tomorrow. I don't know now. I'm not guaranteed now. But I will briefly say what Monday. I'm going to let you in on a bit of insight. Basically, I'm going for an interview Monday, right? Fair enough. Is that fair enough? So we'll see if I get promoted. That's all I say. We'll see. So, give or take, I'll be promoted. So, wished. Right, fair enough. To prime myself, what? Okay. Fair enough then. Chat again. Well, good luck. Hello, Karen. Good luck. But anyway, that's all I say for the moment. So don't say anything. Forget I even said anything. Okay. We see Tuesday. Okay. I'll probably be back Tuesday. So don't say anything at all. Okay. Please don't say anything at all. Keep it under your nose, right? Commissioner, yeah, I'm going to get through. I'm going to take over Drew House's job. We form Garda Síle O'Connor. We're going to lock up all the prisoners in the country, and I don't know. We're going to put them on a community service or something like that, and we all have a blast. I don't know that good. I'm going to take over on Garda Síle O'Connor. Isn't it great? Imagine that. That'd be good fun. But anyway, so yeah, I be your new Garda Commissioner. So I have to go to bed. We'll take care of that and have a pleasant sleep. And the same with everybody else here. Take care, everyone. You might see me in the papers tomorrow as the new Garda Commissioner. Only joking.